Well, the 30-game grind of SEC play began last night in Gainesville, and that guy right there, Brandon Sproat, was spectacular. Complete game, one-hitter, shutout of the Alabama Crimson Tide, that came in with the best batting average in the Southeastern Conference, a career-high 11 strikeouts for Sproat. So today, we play two, evident by the two bases right there. A lot of rain coming to Gainesville tomorrow, so let's get after it here on the SEC Network, and weather absolutely gorgeous today. Speaking of gorgeous, that's my partner, Nick Belmonte, Jeff Cardozo here as well. Well, you got to look at Brandon Sproat and think, wow, and that's really the only way to describe it. 98 in the last inning, he was just mowing them down.
Well, on this St. Patrick's Day, Gator coach Kevin O'Sullivan's Irish eyes are smiling after what he witnessed last night. Brandon Sproat, how about this? Hour 50 minutes, 102 pitches, amazing job. Only allowed 4 base runners in that complete game. One of the best outings in the history of the program. And what else did that job do last night? It kept the bullpen quiet. Those arms are rested for this doubleheader.
Yeah, they certainly are. And the Gators are switching things around a little bit. They will go Jack Caglione here in the first game of the doubleheader. That means Herson Waldrop will play in the second game. But, Nick, he has been outstanding this year.
Yeah, again, one of the best players in all of college baseball when you count his pitching and his hitting. Great numbers on the air. Hey, working the corners is going to be key, and that nice changeup, a little sneaky changeup he throws to right-handed hitters is going to be fun to watch.
Well, you see 3-0, and this is a lineup he will face for the Crimson Tide. Again, they came in with the best batting average in the SEC, one better than the Gators had. And each team did not get many hits last night, but it'll be Jarvis, Hodo, and Pinckney, followed by Williamson. Dominic Temez will catch today. He was not in the lineup yesterday. And then Ed Johnson, he's the guy that got the only hit for Alabama. And then Shelton, Rose, and Tommy Seidel to round out the order. You see how good this offense has been. The 39 homers, 592 slugging percentage, and the batting average has dipped down to now 335, but still all of them in the top 10 in all of college baseball. So sit back, relax, enjoy. It is perfect right now here in Gainesville, 79 degrees. And it should be a fun day. 2 9-inning games, and we get underway with Jack Caglione throwing ball one to the left-handed hitting Jim Jarvis. California native. Jarvis takes a strike there, and that'll even things up. Cags will be anywhere from 94 to 97. Sometimes he's pumped up, will hit 98. That one into the ground. Jarvis last night did a really nice job with his first at bat. A lot of pitches from Sproat. Sproat ended up hitting him, but then right after that, the very next pitch, it was a double play, and that really got Sproat going. Good fastball there, and we'll even things up at 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, going back to last night, only 4 Bama players reach base, and as you said, that first one was erased very quickly.
Another fastball, and that one just missed. Yeah, the last Bama base runner was a 2-out walk in the 6th inning of the game yesterday. 3-2 pitch, chop foul. And Jarvis does that to you. He's a guy, especially first time through the order, he saw it last year, just very patient. Wants the pitcher to throw a lot of different pitches. Pesky, you see him choke up there with 2 strikes. And another 3-2 pitch, and that missed. So, for the second straight day, Jarvis will head to first base to lead off the game.
Yeah, that's what you want, your leadoff hitter. Make him throw pitches and get yourself on base on top of it. We saw Robertson do that a bunch yesterday for the Gators. Fouled off, I think I had it like something like 11 or 12 3-2 pitches in his 2 at-bats that he had that count.
So we'll see if Hodo is more patient. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, and he will take a fastball right down the middle. Hodo grounded into that double play. Was one of the 11 strikeouts for Sproat, but he did reach base with a 6-inning walk. He was that last guy to get on against Sproat. Breaking ball there, and a good one for strike 2. So the first benda from Caglione catches the outer part of the plate. And there's another one, but it missed. Jarvis, not your typical leadoff guy. He's no Nick Belmonte by any means. He's had 2 attempts at a steal and has been unsuccessful in both of them. But Caglione will throw over there anyway. Bama, 16 stolen bases, but in 25 attempts. So they have been caught 9 times on the year.
Yeah, not a lot of confidence here, especially with a left-handed pitcher. If he does go, he's just going to go first move.
Another breaking ball, and that one's lined into right field for a base hit. So good job by Hodo. Evans will get it quickly, so that will make Jarvis stop at second base. But Bama in the early going saying, well, we got shut out last night. Let's get this offense going.
Well, let's put this in perspective. 4 guys reached base the entire night for Bama. Tonight, in 2 hitters, they both reached.
Well, now a guy that Bama would love to have find it again. It's Andrew Pinckney, the junior from Georgia, 6'3", 215-pounder. Can't catch up to a fastball, and that happened a lot last night. Pinckney took the hat trick in his first 3 at-bats.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of swing and miss in there with the 16 strikeouts on the year, but a guy that has good oppo power.
That last fastball, 98, so the hardest yet. There's another one, and that one at 96.
This is key right here for Caglione to get an out. Keep this inning from escalating.
Pinckney has grounded into 1 double play this year. Another fastball, and that one will miss.
And if you're probably wondering why Kevin O'Sullivan switched it up with Caglione pitching the second game, because he's usually the 3rd game starter, and it has to do with the doubleheader, because if you're going to play 2 games, you want your pitcher more relaxed and rested.
Good fastball there, and Pinckney couldn't pull the trigger on an inside fastball at 98 miles an hour, so good job by Caglione to recover, and there's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, we talked about in the keys, working the corners, and that's what he did right there. Nice job by B.T. Riopel snatching that call with a good frame job. And, yeah, you want your pitcher to definitely be more rested when he's on the mound.
Strike 1 to Williamson. Yeah, so if he would have hit this first game and hit 3 homers and
out in the
run
hot
a lot,
sun and the whole deal, and then he's going to have to go out and pitch the second game. He's not going to be as rested.
Sure. So smart by Kevin O'Sullivan, as Drew Williamson is now the hitter. Veteran. He has been around this program for a really long time. Leads our team in batting average at .411. He is one of just 3 players to have started every game for Bama this year. Breaking ball in there for strike 2.
And talking to Brad Bohannon, the head coach, he goes, Williamson, throughout his tenure, really has not hit for a lot of power until this year. He's a 50-year guy.
Yeah, second on the team with 6 homers. But Caglione will miss with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Williamson, a very patient hitter. He's actually 4th in school history in drawing free passes. He has walked 130 times in his career.
They already got 18 this year. It's crazy.
That one's hit pretty well out into left center field, and that wind is blowing it even further, and it's going to blow it out of the yard. So there's that power that you were talking about, Nick. He got a fastball over the middle part of the plate, and just like that, it's 3-0 Alabama.
Well, wind was blowing in last night or just dormant, but today it's blowing out. But Williamson's good power and that wind blowing exactly where that ball was headed. If you look at where the flag is on the pole, it's blowing straight out to left center. Waits back on the ball. You see the hips right there going to go right to left center field. Nice mechanics. And it's just going to clear the fence.
Yeah, you could tell he wasn't trying to really do too much with it. Just an easy swing with 2 strikes, and he was able to barrel it up. So now Dominic Tamez. He's doing the catching today. Former Gator. Matt Gassetti caught yesterday, but not in the lineup today. And Caglione misses badly on a changeup.
Yeah, they like Tamez. Good arm, solid player. He was their starter most of all last year.
Chops this one to Halter. And on 2 hops, Colby will throw across the diamond for the second out. So good job by Caglione there to forget about the homer and get back to work.
Yeah, nice bounce back, and it's going to be a long day. Wind blowing out, Gators with good power as well. Just got to minimize the bleeding early if you're Cags.
Well, that homer that Caglione gave up was the first one that he has given up in his Gator career. Ed Johnson, now the hitter. He got the only hit yesterday.
And that was the first home run the Gators have given up since the first game of the FAU series.
Yep. Yeah, it's been 6 games since Gator pitchers have given up a homer.
Yeah, it was Jackson Ross on the same night where Nolan Shanuel hit 3.
Yeah, it was a big night for the Owls offensively as that fastball misses down. That one will reach the seats.
And remember last week, Caglione against Siena only threw 48 pitches in that game by design.
This one will stay in play, and Shellnut, the Gator first baseman, will haul it in to retire the side. But a leadoff walk, a single, and then Alabama's cleanup hitter goes oppo for a 3-run shot. And that's how we get started. Alabama 3, the Gators coming up here in the first of 2 on the SEC Network.
Do your own taxes online with H&R Block, and tax season will feel just as good as all those other seasons.
You're filing yourself and paying much less. What a wonderful way to do taxes.
It's the maximum refund we always wanted.
And we did it ourselves, just like we made these gingerbread tax men.
I sure hope there are taxes in here.
Simply upload last year's TurboTax return to make the switch to H&R Block.
Well, the Gators chasing 3 runs. This is the lineup that Kevin O'Sullivan drew up. We head to the bottom of the first inning here in Gainesville. A couple of freshmen, top of the order, Michael Robertson and then Cade Gerlin, who had the big 2-run homer last night. Then it's Caglione, Rivera, Riopel, and Evans, and then Schieckhofer, Shellnut, and Colby Halter. So the same lineup that was out there yesterday, and they will face righty, making his 5th start of the season. It's Ben Hess.
Yeah, guy's got a power arm, 92 to 95. He's touched 97. Sliders his out pitch. And a guy's a 4-pitch mix guy, and sparkling numbers so far this season.
Yeah, Hess is a guy that moved to the bullpen, final stretch of SEC play in the SEC tournament. Was really good down the stretch. He was their midweek starter for most of the year, but then they wanted to get him more significant action. And he was really good in the SEC tournament last year to finish up his season. He'll face Robertson, and the first pitch is nowhere near. In fact, in that SEC tournament game against Georgia, 4 1/3 scoreless, allowed just 1 hit and 10 strikeouts. So they knew that he would probably be in the rotation this year, and he has gotten off to a really nice start.
And he was one of the bright pitching spots for Bama last weekend against Columbia, where they scuffled against the Columbia Lions. But in that game, only 1 run in 5 innings, only allowed 3 hits.
Robertson pops one out towards left. Tommy Seidel will make the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, we talk about how the fact that Sproat handled Alabama last night, only 4 base runners. Conversely, the Gators win 3-0, but they only had 5 base runners if you count the home run as one of the 5.
Yeah.
So not a lot of pressure was put on the Bama pitching staff as well. There he is. Hey, nothing like the day off after you pitched a gem, huh? If you're a pitcher.
Oh, you love it.
Isn't that great? I mean, you could sport the sunglasses.
Yeah.
There you go.
Chill out, show up whenever you want. I bet they still made him, because his job, once batting practice is over, he's got to go down and takes the net that was at first base and wheel it down. I wonder if they let him give that off to somebody else.
Oh, you could see that hit his hand, and you see him grim and say, look, the Gators can't afford any more injuries.
So Curlin gets hit, and here's Caglione. First pitch hacking. That one is heading towards foul territory, but over to try to get it is Shelton. He's going to make the catch. Caglione going after the first pitch, and he was not able to do anything with it, and that's a big second out.
Absolutely. They've gotten both lefties to hit the ball towards the line the opposite way. And both almost foul balls. Robertson right near the line, and that one obviously foul ball out of play. In play, but not in the field of play.
So Caglione still 0 for the weekend at the plate. But this guy, Josh Rivera, a couple of hits.
Yeah, I mean, Rivera's playing the best baseball of his life right now. He's doing everything in his game to the high level.
He had 2 of the 3 Gator hits as he fouls one off. And it wasn't just the hits last night. He made a play about 10 feet to the second base side of the bag. But you see the difference from last year to this year. It's basically the same exact amount of numbers in about 45 less games.
45 less.
He chops this one right back up the middle, and that'll find center field. Curlin, with a play in front of him, decides to put on the brakes, and that'll give Riopelle an opportunity with 2 outs. But Rivera now with 3 singles and 4 at-bats.
Yeah, I mean, he's just playing the best baseball, not just in his life, but one of the best baseball in the country right now if you count his defense, his base running, his power, and his hitting for average. It's just tremendous.
Well, and the base running yesterday was big. He ends up scoring on a chopper back to the pitcher, but he was going on contact, read it well.
And he stole third prior to that.
Yep, to make it happen. Here's Riopelle. He can't catch up to 96 up in his eyes.
Yeah, well, he power arm. He said he can hit 97. But Riopelle's got the flair for the dramatic. We've seen it.
Riopelle hit 3 deep fly balls yesterday as he takes that one up high. I would say they were combined probably 1,100
Absolutely.
feet.
And he's got 2 home runs on the year. He'll have double digits before the year's up.
Had 15 a year ago, and the SEC is where he really shined. He was first-team All-SEC catcher last year. He lays off of that changeup, though, for ball 2.
Gators would love to answer with one here. Shutdown opportunity here for Hess. And when they say make your adjustments, uniform, everything, huh?
He's got it worked out. And we'll see what Riopelle can do as he steps back in. That one a little inside for ball 3. Well, Ty Evans on deck. He is struggling. But we'll see if they choose to give in to Riopelle here, 3-1. He got a fastball, hits it a mile high out towards right field. Pinckney is right up against the wall, and Pinckney is not going to get it. This ball game is tied on a towering shot onto the berm. And how about that? No real offense at all last night, and a couple of 3-run homers here in the first inning this afternoon.
A flair for the dramatic. BT, big time, Riopelle.
Well, and I go back to, I think, what I just said. You got a guy on deck, righty, struggling. You certainly don't want to load the bases, but I would much rather face Evans than I would Riopelle in that situation.
Getting the crowd going. And that's exactly what Bama did not need. They lose a tough game last night. The best thing they could do was score early in a doubleheader on the road. They do that. And then a crushing, tying 2-out home run by BT Riopelle. That's just so demoralizing.
Well, and you mentioned the flair for the dramatic. All 3 of his homers this year have been pretty special times. One was his first swing of the year, so that's pretty cool.
That's dramatic, yeah.
Hit a grand slam against your rival, the Miami Hurricanes, and now a 3-run homer in SEC play. Evans able to lay off of a couple of sliders. So all he needs is a 2-run homer, and he's hit for the homer cycle.
Oh, I like that.
Evans digs back in, and he will take strike 3. Fastball on the outer part of the plate. So Hess gets Evans to strike out, but couldn't get Riopel to do it as BT got a hold of one and gave somebody a souvenir. And just like that, it's a new game. We head to the second, tied at 3 apiece.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty elevation models.
Well, there you see BT Riopel crouching down, and what he was able to do to tie the game up. 107 off the bat. The launch angle about 50 degrees. So Caglione, new life and back to work, but he falls behind Colby Shelton. It'll be the bottom 3 hitters in the order. Shelton's a junior.
Yeah, out of Lithia. Near the Brandon area in the Tampa region.
And just a freshman, he leads their team in homers.
Now, let me ask you. You've done a lot of games. I don't remember having dueling Colbys at third base.
No.
Well, this could be a first.
And that one is going to actually graze Shelton. Kevin O'Sullivan quickly out of the mound. He knows the importance of surrendering leadoff freebies. And Jarvis walked in the first, and now here in the second, Shelton gets hit.
Well, either way, it would have been ball 4, but runner on base, and Cag's not looking sharp early on.
Yeah, Caglione had given up just 4 earned runs all year and gives up 3 in the first inning on that homer.
Now, it was interesting when he hit the leadoff guy, Jarvis, to start the game. Hodo on the first pitch showed bunt. He pulled the bat back, but it's a little different now. You're down towards the bottom of the order, and you have a guy in Caden Rosa who already has 2 sacrifice bunts on the year, which actually is a lot in the modern era for laying bunts down. So I would look for a bunt here.
Yeah, and it's not like the guy in the 9-hole on deck, Tommy Seidel, is not good. This is a guy hit in the middle part of the order last year. He's not squaring, and Rose will take one down in the dirt.
Let's see if they put it on. Obviously, you go pitch to pitch on that.
Rose hitting .306 with a couple of homers. He does square now, pulls it back, and Riopel's throw a little tardy.
I'm not sure why he pulled it back. That pitch looked perfect to bunt. A good pitch to bunt is something like 2-3 inches off the plate because it's already working its way down.
Yeah, and you'd rather bunt one that's down in the zone.
See, everybody says only bunt strikes. That 2-inch off the plate area to bunt is perfect because it's just a little adjustment by your barrel, and usually you can get it to go where you're going to lay it down anyway. He could have bunted that towards first base, which would have put pressure on Caglione falling off to the third base side.
That's right. Yeah, on the end of the bat there and deaden it a little bit more. Lays off of that changeup. Gators have turned just 4 double plays all year, but may have a chance for another, but slowly hit. Halter will just go to second for 1 and get the lead out on the underhand toss.
Oh, that was a gravity ball right there. You wondered if it was going to get there in time. I get the idea. You're running with momentum going to him, but that's a long flip. You can see he could see Curlin's reaction when he saw the ball coming to him at a slower pace. He actually readjusted his feet like, okay, now I got to play first baseman here.
Yeah. So a good pitch by Kaggs, and now he'll face the 9-hole. Tommy Seidel.
Well, I think that's a lost opportunity because I think he had a guy who was a good bunter, and he showed it but didn't get it down.
Good pitch there for strike one. Seidel transferred in last year from Harvard. Had a nice year. Now in his 5th season of college baseball. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, 25-year-old.
It's a fly ball out towards center. Robertson has to shield his eyes from the sun and able to recover and find it. But you could see the wind even right there. It's blowing out very hard to left field, and that ball carried to about 10 steps shy of the track.
Yeah, Robertson, great outfielder. He's got to negotiate the wind and the way the sun is right now. When it hits the apex, you look right up into it. You can tell by the shadows he had to fight it. You use your glove, you use your sunglasses. Obviously, yeah, he's checking it out because it's nasty up there right now.
So Shelton still remains at first base after getting hit. And back to the top of the order in Jim Jarvis. Jarvis, a very patient hitter, walked and came around to score, starting the game.
Well, definitely a threat to go at first base. Caden Rose 7 for 8 in stolen bases.
He'll chase him back.
Let's see if they just go first move here. That snap throw is dangerous for me. That throw he just made, a lot of times you're not getting your body behind it and the ball will tail away. We've seen it so many times, and then the first baseman will trip over the base runner, ends up in the outfield. That's a dangerous throw. That's more like it. See, you have more control when you step towards first base. And he's getting the job done. Caden Rose, look, 7 for 8. He's definitely a threat here. There's 2 out. I think you got to try it.
Yeah, at some point. You got your leadoff hitter up there.
Yeah.
But they're both going to be on base now as Jarvis lines one through the right side. Evans gets it quickly, and that will hold Rose at second base. But for the second straight inning, a couple of guys on base.
So right now they've gotten more guys on base, and we're only in the second inning they did in the entire game last night.
Yeah, this is a really veteran lineup. Majority of everybody in it was a part of some good things last year down the stretch for Alabama. Now a tough one in Will Hodo, but he will take a breaking ball for strike one. Hodo, a single his first time up. He's now got 8 hits in his last 18 at-bats. So he is one of the hotter members of this Crimson Tide offense. His average at 400.
I was talking to Brad Bohannon, the Alabama coach. He talks about Hodo. He says, yeah, he's like a caveman. You know, he's not pretty, but he gets it done. You know, he's just a big, strong presence up there.
From Waynesboro, Mississippi. And he will take strike 2. Good fastball there.
I like the nickname, though. Caveman.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
He didn't play a lot last year, but this year he's been very, very good. 1-2 pitch, fastball again, but it's off the plate.
Wow. That's a tough one to take there. That one looked like it cut diagonally across the plate. And remember, it's not where the guy catches it, it's where it crosses the plate.
So now 2-2. Fastball again, grounded right side. Curlin diving stop, can't get it. It'll sneak away, so the runner's going to try to score, and he will. That is some great base running. We mentioned how quick Rose was, and he never hesitated around third. So a couple of singles with 2 outs has given Bama the lead once again.
Yeah, once that ball, on contact, Rhodes is running. Once that ball hits Carlin's glove and deadens, he all bets are off. He was going to score because you really have to go back and pick it up, and you really get nothing on the throw here. Watch. When he picks it up, there's going to be no momentum. I don't know why he's looking back because everything's – look at your coach. But, yeah, there you go.
Well, that went all the way behind Pinckney, so it's going to put a couple of runners into scoring position. So give the top of the order credit. Both Jarvis and Hodo have each been on base in both of their at-bats in the first 2 consecutive innings. Pinckney takes one high, a changeup for ball 2, and he has struggled so far against Gator pitching. He's 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. He's the only strikeout that Caglione has today. That breaking ball will catch the outer part of the plate for a strike. Pinckney started off the year with an 11-game hitting streak, so really, really hot, but he's just now 3 for his last 17.
Brad Bohannon was saying, Pinckney's body, he said he looks more like a Alabama wide receiver, the way he's built.
Good off-speed pitch there by Caglione. Pinckney was guessing fastball there, and he swung like he thought he got it.
Yeah, really pulled off of that one, trying to get it up in the jet stream.
Well, Williams is on deck, so you got to go right after Pinckney. They do with a fastball, and it's fouled off. So even with first base open and a right-hander at the plate, lefty on deck greeted you with a 3-run homer. So I think Pinckney is the guy you'd rather go after. They do with a breaking ball, and he went around for another strikeout. So Bama will leave a couple stranded. Pinckney has struck out now 5 times in 6 at-bats. But Alabama, on a couple of 2-out singles, takes the lead back once again. We move to the bottom of inning number 2. It's Alabama 4, Florida 3. Well, just 3 runs all game yesterday. There was 3 put up in the top of the first in this one. 4-3 now. Alabama leads it as the Gators come to the plate for the second time. And Richie Schieckhofer will take strike 1. From the right-hander for Alabama, Ben Hess. Hess in the first inning threw 17 pitches, 10 strikes. Schieckhofer getting the opportunity today, started yesterday in left field as the Gators continue to be without first-team All-American and their leading hitter, Wyatt Langford. And you don't expect to see him for a couple more weeks. So guys are going to have to step up. Seeing Derek Fabian in left as well.
And Hess is a tough customer. You don't get any freebies off of him. That hit by pitch was his first of the year. He's only walked 5.
And Schieckhofer can't catch up to 96 up in the zone. So the second strikeout for Ben Hess. And there you see Langford right there. So still in uniform, still supporting his teammates, still looking cool in the shades. But you know he'd love to be out there. You can see that Kylie McDaniel says he could be the number 1 overall pick. That's how good he is.
Man, that's a big loss. I mean, you lose a guy that's first-team All-American, and the way he started out, looked like he was going to be first-team All-American again. And, of course, as you just mentioned, possible first overall pick.
Shellnut can't catch up to a couple of breaking balls. Well, and Langford last year, one of just 3 guys to play every single game for the Gators.
Yeah, the guy had 26 homers last year.
And Shellnut quickly goes down. Couple of sliders from Hess, and then 96 again up in the zone. And just like that, Ben Hess is starting to settle in.
Yeah, and he's got 97 in the tank, I'm told, as well. So now look, as good as he looks, it's still a one-run ball game, and he's given up 3 runs.
Well, 3 consecutive strikeouts now as Colby Halter steps in with 2 outs.
So what you're saying is the home run must have made him mad.
Yes.
I like this move. This is just to slow the pace of this thing down. Chuck Girolamo just say, hey, let's chat. This is more about not so much the approach here. It's, look, Caglione is throwing a decent amount of pitches already. It's a warm day. We've had 2 quick outs. Let's make this guy sit out in the sun a little bit. So this is a good veteran coach move here by Girolamo.
Yeah, the first time he did it was when Josh Rivera was at the plate earlier in the year, and then Rivera stepped in the next pitch and hit a triple off the wall.
Just wanted this, just keep settle the timing a little bit, unsettle it. That's the key here.
Yeah, you can see how comfortable Hess was getting. He was just getting it and firing and going.
Yeah, even with that, he's up 0-2 here.
But that's the only option now, being able to slow things down. The batter can't just step out of the box anymore. Halter has fouled off a couple of fastballs.
Well, you could get something in your eye.
That's true.
Untimely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That used to be a move that was used quite often when Brad Wilkerson was trying to warm up and quickly go in the game. 0-2 breaking ball off the plate. Or Chuck Hazard, he was always the one that wanted to do it because he thought he could be a good actor. So he. Oh, Hess ready. And the 1-2 is smoked. A line drive to center field, but it'll hang up long enough for Caden Rose to run it down. So a 1-2-3 inning, the first of the day for either arm. And we will head to the third. Bama leads it 4-3. Well, people still working. It is Friday afternoon, but a nice crowd forming. A doubleheader today as Bama and Florida will wrap up their series already. The first one of SEC play. Jack Caglione back to work, and he misses on a breaking ball to the guy that hit a 3-run homer off him. First time up, Williamson got a fastball and didn't miss it. So a couple of breaking balls to start things off here.
And these games today are both 9-inning.
Another breaking ball, and that one stays in.
Of course, the new rule, too, 10-run rule will be in effect in SEC play.
Another breaking ball, so 4 consecutive ones. Yeah, and that the rule was put in place to be 4 conference games. 2-2, threw him a fastball and just missed down with it. But if you look at the 30 games last year that the Gators played in, only 1 would have been a 10-run rule game. So it doesn't happen too often. Here's a chopper to Curlin and an underhand toss to Shellnut for the first out. So good job by Caglione there. He wasn't going to give in with a fastball that time to Williamson. A lot of off-speed pitches to get the out.
Yeah, at 62 pitches, he needs a quick inning. That's for sure.
That's the first time so far today that he has retired the first hitter of the inning. Now Dominic Temez, the catcher today, just 1 for his last 8 at the plate. Caglione working extremely quick, and that's what he does when nobody's on base, so certainly more comfortable. And he spins a breaking ball in there for strike 2.
Temez started his career at Arkansas and went to JUCO after that. Always give the JUCOs a shout out. He went to McLennan Community College and then over to Bama, where he pretty much was their starter all last year.
2-2 got him. Good fastball in. Changed the eyesight, and that's 3rd strikeout for Caglione.
Best inning by far for Cags. And again, it's not necessarily where the catcher catches it. It's kind of a little distorted right there, the view, because it's where it crosses home plate. A lot of times from those lefties, they'll diagonally cut it across.
Ed Johnson steps in and hits one right back to Caglione. So there was the easy inning that he needed as Caglione sets down Bama in order. 1-2-3 in the top of the third. We'll head to the home half of inning number 3. It's Alabama 4, Florida 3. You know, both starters settling in now. A couple of zeros on the scoreboard. Alabama goes down 1-2-3 for the first time. Gators went down 1-2-3 last inning, but it's the top of their order that will try to erase this one-run deficit as Robertson, Curlin, and Caglione step back in against the righty Ben Hess. He has thrown just 29 pitches in the first 2 innings. Coming off a 12-pitch inning where he quickly got rid of the bottom part of the Gator lineup. Robertson hit a little flare to left that Seidel ran down. Start off the Gator offense today. He'll take ball 2. Robertson's average at 283, but he has been getting on base quite a bit. Doesn't offer it that changeup.
Yeah, take it all the way. 2-0 count. You're down a run, top of the order. Why not? Make them work.
Got a fastball, hit it hard, but right at the second baseman. Bobbled slightly, but Ed Johnson able to recover enough and get the speedy Robertson for the out.
And he had to recover quickly, but Robertson bearing down there for that left side. No time to waste. Robertson will get his share of hits or reach first base when that happens throughout the course of the year because he's so fast, especially when it happens on the left side of the infield.
Well, here's Cade Curlin. And he is continuing to stroke the baseball. A hanging slider that he didn't miss. He'll deposit that into left field. And the Gators have a 1-out base runner. So now Jack Caglione, he'll try to help himself out. Cags is 0 for 4 against Bama pitching so far. He'll take that one down. In fact, yesterday, the 0 for 3, he didn't reach base at all. It was the first time all year that Caglione did not reach base. The 0 for also ended a 5-game hitting streak for him yesterday. Change up, and that one's fouled off at home plate. Well, and we've seen a couple of times this year his strength and ability to go the opposite direction. They do put the shift on for Caglione, so if he just wants to take a base hit and allow Rivera to do the damage, he can get one. Just hit a ground ball to the left side of the infield. 1-1, he went around for strike 2.
It's interesting, too. They're pitching him away, but they're playing him to pull. Again, all that wind now blowing to right field in a gust.
Change up, got him. And Caglione struggles at the plate continue against Alabama pitching.
Nasty changeup.
Yeah, it was a good job of, again, moving the eyes of the hitter. Up, down, left, right. That's what pitching's all about. It went high and then
Really is.
came down low with a changeup. First pitch to Rivera is a strike.
I mean, think about what Sproat did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the fastball, 100 miles an hour, 98, 99. But there's the changeup mix with the two. As a hitter, you're baffled.
Runner goes as Rivera fouls back another slider. Rivera single his first time up. He's got 3 hits now on the weekend and a .408 batting average. So now one of 3 Gators hitting over 400. Slider again, chopped back to the shortstop. And on the run, Jarvis will make the play to retire the side. So a 1-out single by Curlin amounts to nothing, and he is stranded on base. So we head to the 4th. Bama 4-3 over the Gators. We've completed 3. First of 2 games this afternoon and tonight at the Condren Ballpark. And Alabama recovering from getting shut out yesterday. Already 4 runs on 4 hits off of Jack Caglione. They lead by 1 as Caglione gets back to work. And he will face the bottom 3 hitters in the Alabama order. Colby Shelton, the first to step in there. He was hit his first time.
Yeah, he needs an inning like last, where he only threw 13 pitches.
There's 3 already, but 2 of the first 3 strikes. And Caglione has done a better job of pounding the zone after the first inning. 1-2 pitch misses.
Remember last weekend against Siena, he was on a 50 pitch count. He threw a 48. So just under.
Good pitch there. Took a little something off and gets his 4th strikeout.
Yeah, he's starting to settle in here the last 2 innings. Looking much better. Little cut action there.
5 in a row now retired by Caglione as he faces Caden Rose. He threw 30 pitches in the first inning, 26 in the second, then down to the 13.
You rarely see right-handers do this anymore, but you got a left-handed pitcher up. If you're a good bunter like Rose, just bunt it towards first base. There's a really good chance you'll beat it out.
Yeah, we saw his speed. He's the difference in the game right now, scoring on a ground ball that was knocked down by the second baseman, but he scored from second base.
A lot of times these guys, the game of baseball, a hit's a hit, right?
Mm-hmm. It looked like he was taken all the way on the 3-1 fastball. So now the 3-2 pitch, and it is chopped foul.
So you like my stat of 60% all 3-2 pitches are fouled off?
Oh, yeah.
This weekend it's like 80%.
Yeah, it happened a lot yesterday.
Robert said it happened to a ton.
Well, not going to happen there as it's a swing and a miss. So Caglione up to 5 strikeouts now, and he has struck out 4 of the last 6 hitters. And 2 quick outs for Tommy Seidel, who turns to the side to avoid getting hit. Seidel hitting .342. I'm sure he can calculate that in his head very easily by himself as he fouls that off. Started his collegiate career at Harvard. I know that was what, 2nd or 3rd on your list of options
Of them
back
turning
in
me
the
down.
day.
Yeah.
Fly ball to right. Evans going to try to get there, and he will. Nice little dive to haul it in and retire the side. So Caglione's retired 7 in a row, and we'll see if his teammates can help him out as Evans makes a nice stop to finish off the inning. There you see it. And Evans will bat second in the bottom of the 4th. It's Alabama 4, Florida 3.
This isn't a coffee, it's a trophy. Caramel chocolate cold brew, velvety chocolate cold foam, cocoa caramel crumbles. Whatever you did to deserve this must have been super impressive. Because this is, well, just look at it. The new caramel chocolate cold brew from Dunkin'.
Home half of the fourth here in Gainesville. BT Riopel steps in. Faced Ben Hess for the second time. He took him deep the first time on a fastball, but Riopel gets a changeup there for strike one. It was Riopel's third homer of the year, and he almost hit another one, but that one will go foul. Back-to-back changeups there, and this was the fastball he tied the game up with back in the first inning.
Yeah, he goes down and gets this one. And that was so much needed with 2 outs to tie it up in the first, change the momentum of this game with one swing.
Hess pumped up there. He threw 98 for the first time, and there you see how far that homer went. Able to pull it down the line, so 348 was enough. A towering shot that left the yard. Back to a changeup, and that one is off the plate. It was Riopel's first homer, of course, in SEC play. Another changeup, and that ball is hit hard out into the gap of right center field. Pinckney trying to get there, he won't, and that'll bounce up against the wall. So Riopel certainly likes what Ben Hess is delivering, and he's got his second hit off of the right-hander.
The guy I said he was flair for the dramatics. I mean, he always comes up with the big hit when you need it, and the Gators need it. It's a hanging, breaking ball. Keeps his hands back. At least put down, keeps hands back, and almost knocks it out of the yard for a second home run today. That was close.
So we'll see what they ask of Ty Evans here.
Well, ideally, you'd love to get him over with less than 2 outs.
Just something to the right side.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Right to the second baseman. Ed Johnson will make the easy play, but
every guy in that dugout is going to give him the high five when he gets in. That's exactly what they needed. That was a team play right there by Ty Evans.
Yeah, you could see the approach and the mindset was to make sure he did that.
Outstanding at bat.
And we'll see if Richie Schieckhofer can make it pay off. Schieckhofer, though, has really struggled at the plate as they bring the infield in. First pitch is fouled back at 95 miles an hour. Schieckhofer yesterday struck out twice and grounded to first, and he struck out in his first at bat here today, so none of those 4 outcomes would work in this situation.
Yeah, look for something you can elevate with that wind blowing out. Get that sac fly if you can.
The changeup is high.
And remember, too, with the wind blowing out, it's going to be a lot tougher for the outfielders to throw because they're going to be throwing it in against the wind.
Yeah. You don't really have to destroy the ball. It's going to carry you, get it up. And that one is up.
Yeah, just something you could backspin, get it, let the wind take it out there normal depth. And again, like I said, with the wind blowing in the outfielders' faces, it'll take probably about 5-10 miles an hour off their throws.
So Schieckhofer for the advantage in the count, and a changeup is fouled back. So a couple pitches he's squared up, but just couldn't put it in play. Schieckhofer has only driven in 5 this year. Does have a homer, and it was opposite field.
There's anything you can do, cut and slash here, just get it in play.
He chases and will not. So Schieckhofer strikes out for the 4th time in 5 at-bats, and it's 2 outs for Shellnut.
And they felt like that was where they wanted to attack him. You could see Temez right before that pitch take his glove and say, we're going to go up above the hands here and see if he'll chase after it, and he did. Good spot by Hess. Threw it right where they had it designed.
So he, just like Caglione, has struck out 5. He struck out Shellnut on 3 pitches the first time he faced him. And there is strike 1.
Yeah, we talked so much about Shellnut being a versatile guy. They need him with Langford out to step up and be a guy. Power to all fields.
He's hitting an even 300 on the year. And he will take strike 2.
Wow, that's a nasty pitch right on the corner. Slider. He's a 4-pitch guy. So you can't just sit on 1 pitch, and he's got 97 in the tank.
Well, he got a hold of that one, but popped it straight up to shoot. Williamson, the first baseman, trying to battle the sun, and that is a heck of a catch to keep this game a 1-run Alabama lead. He battled that thing the entire way through, and a little smile as he hauls it in to retire the side. So the Gators unable to capitalize on a leadoff double, and they hang a 0. Well, SEC play has started, and you can see it's going to be the toughest conference in all of college baseball. 3 of the first 4 are ranked, and then you got the Gators, Vandy, Arkansas, A&M, South Carolina, and Alabama. So a lot of teams there are going to be vying out for the postseason. It's going to be a heck of a 30-game grind.
Somebody was saying that Vandy couldn't hit this year. Then they 10-run ruled Ole Miss 12-2 last night.
Yeah, Vandy came in with just a .254 batting average, the worst in the league, and woke up. This one hit hard, but right at the Gators' second baseman Curlin, and Jim Jarvis will be thrown out for out number 1.
And Jim Jarvis making it out is huge, because not only do you retire a guy that's been hot, a leadoff guy at the top of the order.
He had been on base both times.
Nice play by Curlin. That was a tricky hop. He stayed with it.
But Jarvis is such a different hitter from his first at bat to the rest of the game. Very patient, takes a lot of pitches in at bat 1, and then very aggressive the rest of the way. Now here's Will Hodo, who has done a nice job against Caglione. Hodo has 2 singles off of him, right in between first and second both times. That one's going to miss inside for ball 3. Caglione up to 89 pitches now as Gators start to get some action in their bullpen. There's a strike.
Yeah, I mean, look for Caglione. You see Nick Ficarota, who's been pitched very well lately.
And that one will miss. So Hodo will reach for the 3rd straight time. So Caglione issues his 2nd walk, go along with 5 strikeouts. He faces Pinckney, who didn't want anything to do with him, so he'll bunt, and Caglione will easily throw him out for the 2nd out of the inning.
First sacrifice bunt on the year for Pinckney, and that would be expected since he's a 3-hole hitter.
But also just shows you that he's not seeing it well right now. So instead of striking out like he did in his first 2 at-bats, he chose to be told to get sacrificed.
And that's rare, usually with 1 out.
And for a 3-hole hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that just shows a lot of where he is. Well, the Gators can maybe pitch around Williamson now.
Yeah, and that's what makes that another option.
That's why it didn't make much sense. Williamson, a 3-run homer to get things going, snuck over the wall in left center field. But then he got a lot of breaking balls his 2nd at bat.
And there's always that possibility a player may have missed the sign too, so we don't know that for sure.
Well, he did get a high five from one of the coaches, so I'm not sure if that's the case. This one is smoked. Evans going to try to get there. He won't, and Alabama's going to get another run. So they don't pitch around Williamson, and the cleanup hitter for Alabama has driven in 4 on the day already, and it's 5-3 Crimson Tide.
Yeah, that ball was smoked. He would have scored from first base on that one with Hodo, but he scores easily from 2nd. Well, it's been the Williamson show today for Alabama.
Well, Caglione at 95 pitches now.
4 out of the 5 runs knocked in by Williamson.
He'll throw strike one to Tamez. Struck him out on an inside fastball his last time, so they'll continue to pound that inner part of the plate.
This is a big out to get right here. You're down 2, halfway through the ball game. You're thinking this might be Cagliano's last inning.
Tried to go in again. It is the most number of pitches that he has thrown this year. Through 92 and 4 2/3 against Cincinnati. But this will be pitch number 99. And we'll see if it's the last one he throws. Breaking ball, missed.
As an infielder here, you are aware of knocking any ground ball down. Keep it in the infield.
Tamez, a .317 hitter with a couple of homers. Ready for the 2-2. Fastball, got him. So Cagliano strikes out Tamez, looking for the second straight time, but he's not happy with the walk and the double he gave up to Williamson. So we're halfway home in this one. It's Alabama 5, Florida 3 through 4.5.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty elevation models.
Well, when you play sports, you always try to forget about the previous day and just move on. And that's exactly what Alabama offense has done today. Just 1 hit last night, 5 already through 5 innings today. The Gators got 3 and so far have 4. Neither team has committed an error.
So the umpires would always tell me the day after I got tossed out of a minor league game. That was yesterday. Today's a new day.
Yeah, come back and be better.
Then you get tossed at the meeting at home plate.
Well, Ben Hess back to work. He has been good since giving up the 3-run homer to Riopelle in the first inning. The Gators had 2 hits in the first inning. But Hess worked around a leadoff double his last time and able to get a strikeout of Schieckhofer and Shellnut to pop out. Halter squared up a ball his first time, but it was a line drive right to the center fielder, Caden Rose. So Colby now 0 for 4 so far in the series. And he can't get that changeup for strike 2. Able to lay off of that one, though. Well, and the pattern has been, once you see that changeup to come up with a fastball, he's made a lot of Gators miss up in the zone on the next pitch. So we'll see if he tries that again. He does. Halter got a piece of it, hit out towards left. Ballpark should hold it, though. And now Caden Rose holds it in his glove for the first out.
Yeah, just too much air under that one. Wind started cutting from left to right before that pitch was thrown. Kept that in the park.
So Hess only hit 60 pitches. You compare that to Cagliano through 5 innings at 100 pitches. Here's the top of the order once again for the Gators, as that one misses down low to Robertson. He is 0 for 2, looking for his first SEC hit. 0 for 4 with a walk so far against the Crimson Tide. That one a little in. Well, Hess is working hard. He's had to tuck that front of his shirt in several times as he just lets it go. Big guy and a really good pitch there. A 2-0 changeup. Robertson was thinking, man,
hey,
2-0 in high school, I got fastballs.
That's okay. He'll be one of like a million. I'm in that list of swinging and missing a 2-0 changeup.
Another one. And a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Well, let's see if they did the Sid Thrift theory. Go right back to it within 12 seconds. If you get a guy vulnerable, go triple up on the change.
It went fastball, but it missed.
Yeah, see, they didn't do it, and now the count goes full. Now they're a pitch away from getting a speedy runner on first base with the 2-hole hitter who's hot coming up.
Change up again. It wasn't as good, but they still get him. And Robertson is the second out of the inning.
Those are nasty changeups. Just the speed differential has got the hitters baffled right now. Like you said, pitches up, but you're swinging out in front of it because he's just taking just enough off to go from 97 to maybe, what, 88.
They throw a change up to Curlin as well. Tried to spin a breaking ball in there on the first pitch his last at bat, and Curlin hit a line drive into left field for the base hit. He's also been hit today, so 1 for 1 officially.
This kid Hess knows what he's doing.
Yeah, only given up 4 earned runs all year.
Yeah, and that was 8th in the SEC coming in. The ERA of 1.83 coming into this ball game.
Hasn't given Curlin a fastball. There's one, and Cade hits it the other way pretty well. Pinckney is not going to see it, and that ball is deposited into the bullpen. So back-to-back days where Cade Curlin leaves the yard, an oppo shot for his 7th of the year, and the Gators back within 1.
Maturity beyond his class. Freshman, for when his high school year, to come play for Florida in the Southeastern Conference, and he's saying, what, this is the SEC? I'm just dominating this thing. Big home run last night, home run here today. As you mentioned, got to hit his last time up. Nice job just going with it. Just good mechanics for such a young hitter to make that adjustment. And that's a good pitcher he just went yard on.
So now Jack Caglione, he'll try to do that and tie up the game, get himself off the hook as the Gator pitcher. Hacking on a first pitch fastball, and he was just a little late on it.
That home run was the 5th given up by Hess this year.
They'll shift on Caglione like they have the entire weekend. Another fastball fouled straight back for strike 2. So a completely different approach this at bat than the last at bat. It was all off speed to Caglione in the 3rd inning where he struck out.
Well, he's still mixing a changeup here.
That one is drilled straight away center field, but it's a sinking liner, and Rose is going to run it down. Didn't get the topspin on it, and that will do it for the Gators. But Cade Curlin gets the Gators within 1 on that swing. An opposite field shot from number 4 to give the Gators their 4th run. It's 5-4 Bama. Well, Jack Caglione's afternoon is over, at least from a pitching standpoint. He'll remain in there and hit. But Nick Ficarota will now make his 8th appearance and try to hang a 0 against the Crimson Tide.
Well, Ficarota has been outstanding, and you see the numbers right there. 18 strikeouts, nary a walk. In his 8th appearance, 14 2/3, 15 hits, 8 runs, 7 of those earned. And there's the day for Cags.
Yep, a lot of 5s. 5 innings, 5 hit, 5 earned runs. Caglione came into the game allowing just 4 earned runs all year. But a 3-run homer, the first he has given up as a Gator, is what got him early on. Ficarota, a strike throwing machine, throws strike 1 to Ed Johnson. 6, 7, and 8 in the Alabama order. Johnson has hit it to the first baseman and to the pitcher.
As we mentioned, Gator bullpen rested, ready to go.
Little sidearm shot there. And then that'll scoot past the Alabama third base coach. Over the top breaking ball, and that one will be a foul ball at home plate. Johnson 8 hits in his last 20 at bats, so he's been seeing it well lately. Gets another one, and this time Rypel's able to hang on, and just like that, out number 1.
Dandy. Bottom falling out of a big inning right here to throw a 0 up. Your team just scored, bringing you within 1. Gators have the momentum right now. They want to keep it.
Well, Shelton, the hitter. He'll go the other way. But right there is Schieckhofer. And just like that, the second out. Well, and I think the approach to Figueroa would be, at least game plan, scouting report wise, he's a strike thrower. So go out there and try to attack early. And Alabama's going to slow it down now by calling timeout.
Yeah, we saw Chuck Girolamo do the same thing earlier in the game to slow down Hess. Alabama going to do the same thing here. And it's a smart move. Nothing to lose.
Yeah, Brad Bohannon, one of the few head coaches that goes out and coaches third base as well.
Yeah, Brad Bohannon, in his 6th year, done a nice job. Got a good ball club.
Yeah, he's been able to build this program. Veteran bunch here this year. I think you see by their start that they expect a lot of good things throughout the entire season. Caden Rose, the hitter, he struck out his last time up. 0 for 2 on the afternoon.
One thing I noticed is very interesting. I don't know if you see this much anymore. Shelton, the previous hitter, Rose used the same bat.
He handed it off, huh?
Yeah, literally used the same bat. Not same model, the actual bat. Yeah, he just went and picked up Shelton's bat and got in the batter's box.
No, he used it a little bit better because Shelton flew out and Rose will walk.
And that's the first walk of the year surrendered by Figueroa.
And a good job again by Brad Bohannon then to slow things down and help get that walk. Here's Tommy Seidel.
And you got to think Rose is going to run. He's 7 for 8 in stolen base. You got the 9-hole guy up. That's okay. You got a veteran guy. You want to get him down there in scoring position. You got a 1-run lead. Why not? The lead is short, I'll tell you that. Let's see if he lengthens it here.
The Gators know that he can run, though. He's been on base a couple times.
Yeah, that's a short lead.
Figueroa nibbling, though, and off the plate with those sliders. Seidel is looking for his first hit in the series. He's 0 for 5.
I mean, realistically, that lead that Rose has taken, I really didn't worry about him.
Mm-mm.
He's still got about another 83 feet to go from there. It's not even worth a throw over, to be honest with you. The guy's going to be safe. He's hanging all over the base. You don't want to throw it away. It's going to be hard to pick off a guy that doesn't have a big lead.
Well, they continue to throw over.
Yeah, for me, I'd just go get the hitter here. He won't get the greatest jump in the world from the fact that he doesn't have a big lead.
Here's the strike as Figueroa drops down slightly.
And Even though they may run him here 2-2, if I was Ficarota, I'd just worry about the hitter. You got 2 strikes on him. Concentrate, make your pitch right here, and get out of this inning. Keep that momentum going.
The 2-2 pitch, chop foul.
Gators have 4, 5, and 6 coming up in the bottom of the 6th. That's Rivera will be leading off.
Here's a little fly to left with the wind. We'll hang it up there a little bit longer, enough for Schiekofer to snag it. And Ficarota, despite the 2-out walk, hangs a 0. So the bottom of the 6th. And those 3 guys coming up that Nick just mentioned here on the SEC Network. Well, Alabama has scored in the top half of 3 different innings. Gators answered in 2 of them. It's a 5-4 Alabama lead as Florida will send up Rivera, Riopelle, and Evans. Hess still out there. Alabama does have a right-hander standing in the bullpen as Hess about to throw his 75th pitch. He has struck out 6 Gators through the first 5 innings. And that slider has been pretty good to right-handed hitters today.
Yeah, you almost have to set up looking away and go to right field with that one, kind of like what Curlin did.
Rivera gets that slider, hits it to straightaway center field. Rose trying to run it down. He won't. It's out of here. And this ball game is tied up. 9 big flies for Rivera. And the Gators have hit 3 bombs today.
Well, there's your right center field shot. That's the good approach. And it's been working. 2 innings in a row now. Don't try to pull everything. Stay on it.
Well, threw him that slider again, and that one hung up there. Just shows you the strength of Rivera.
And he was looking that way as well. There's the momentum tying this ball game.
First pitch breaking ball to Riopelle. Well, Rivera hit 9 homers, 32 runs driven in last year, as Riopelle takes that one high. So now with that homer, 9 homers, 32 runs driven in this year. And we are just getting started in SEC play.
I mean, we've been marveling on the pitches that Hess has thrown today, and he's looked good. But let's face it, he's given up 5 runs and 6 hits, and the Gators have tied this thing. So pretty good job by Florida, just battling.
Breaking ball there, misses in. And you know, you look at those numbers by Rivera, but to me yesterday, if you were a scout in the stands or watching on television, the defensive plays and the base running that he did yesterday is what earns him the money.
Yeah. No, he's a pro shortstop. There's no doubt about it. The next level, he's that. I mean, right now, Rivera, for me, could play shortstop in the big leagues right now, defensively.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Riopelle, and they get him on a breaking ball. Hess has done a good job with that. He has thrown a lot of off-speed pitches with 2 strikes. So Riopelle retired for the first time. He had homered and doubled off of Hess first 2 times he saw him. Ty Evans now hits. Ty 0 for 2.
They were talking about this the other night on the broadcast World Baseball Classic game, about when scouts say, like I just said, for me. And they were kind of making fun of that. They were saying, well, who else would it be for? Well, when scouts say for me, you got to remember there's more than one scout in an organization. So they're not necessarily speaking for the entire organization. That's why scouts do say that line. You know, they're kind of making fun of scouts for saying that, but no, I mean, everybody has their own opinions. Believe me, there are different opinions on David Eckstein, trust me, than the scout that signed him.
Oh, yeah, no question. You've got to fight for your guy and show why you believe that he's going to be pretty good. Evans 0 for 2. Seen a lot of sliders like that, and he continues to lay off of them. We'll see if he gets one here. He struck out his first time and then grounded to second, but it was a productive at bat. Gators just couldn't score Ryapel from third with one out. Chased, fastball up there for strike 2.
And just give the guy credit. The scout that signed was Luke Wren of the Boston Red Sox. That's originally where Eckstein went.
And there's the slider again. So back-to-back strikeouts on breaking balls. And after the homer, Hess has recovered nicely. And he'll face Richie Schieckhofer, who he's already struck out twice today. Schieckhofer has struck out in 4 of his 5 SEC at-bats. Hits that one hard, but it'll go foul.
Yep, best swing of the day right there for Schieckhofer.
And he has swung at the first pitch all 3 at bats. And he's touched them all, but unable to put them in play. Fastball there, fouled off again.
And you wonder how far they're going to go with Hess. 90 pitches right now. Another game after this, a 9-inning affair. Alabama only used 2 pitchers yesterday.
That breaking ball will miss. Caglione, the Gator starter, threw 100. And Hess a handful under it. 1-2. Out towards left center. Rose is quick, though, and he will easily run it down to retire the side. So he retires 3 after this. Josh Rivera hits it just to the right of the batter's eye, and we are all tied at 5 apiece heading to the 7th. We start the 7th here in Gainesville. A couple of 3-run homers in the first inning. It was 3-3 after the first one. Alabama then took a 2-run lead, but the Gators, with a couple of solo home runs over the last few innings, one by Curlin, one by Rivera, have tied it up. So a new game, a 3-inning game, potentially, as Jim Jarvis steps in and quickly falls behind. No balls and 2 strikes. Jarvis, the leadoff man. Grounded to second his last time, and he will strike out this time. So Figueroa just said, I'm going to throw you 3 off-speed pitches and send you back to the dugout.
Figueroa has been so effective. The array of pitches he throws, and sometimes he'll drop down as well. Do that to righties.
Second strikeout for him. Caglione struck out 6. Here's a little blooper out towards left. Schieckhofer's not going to get there. And Will Hodo, for the 3rd time today, will have a single. 4th time today, be on base.
Yeah, all 4. And now it gets interesting. All right, so we were here 2 innings ago. We saw Pinckney bunt and Williamson hit a double. If that happens again, they're not pitching to Williamson.
No. Not sure they should have pitched to him the last time. Especially threw him a 2-0 pitch. See a lot of room on the right side to Pinckney, who is 0 for 2 with that sacrifice.
And believe me, Brad Bohannon says, okay, if I do bunt him, that they're not going to pitch to my big guy. So I take the bat out of 2 hands.
Well, Kevin O'Sullivan out to the mound, and he might want to hurry because there is a rule on mound visits. A 30-second timer starts when the coach exits the dugout. And Sully is making his way out there, and he gets there with only 12 left on the clock.
I think that's, to me, is a little excessive.
Yeah, and you can see now it's at 0, so the home plate umpire, David Ewell, is going out there to break it up. So maybe, as smart as Mike Martin was, he realized that this was going to happen in a few years, and he would have never even made it to the mound within 30 seconds.
No, not with Mike's gate. He'd take 15 minutes just to get to the chalk line.
Well, you see the guys warming up for the Gators in the bullpen. Cade Fisher, the lefty. Ryan Slater, the righty.
Of course, we're talking about the Hall of Fame coach from FSU, Mike Martin. And when they come in later in the year, it's going to be strange doing a game where an FSU team's not coached by a member of the Martin family.
Yeah.
Over 50 years, I believe.
Yeah, first year for Link Jarrett, former player under Mike Martin, and a good one at that. Well, Figueroa needs to throw a couple more strikes here, but he doesn't. And second walk is issued, and that is very dangerous right in front of this guy, Drew Williamson, who's already had himself a day.
Yeah, and you're forced to pitch to him.
Just not sure it's going to be Figueroa.
No, I'll probably go with lefty, Cade Fisher, perhaps.
That's exactly what they will do, as Kevin O'Sullivan makes his way to the mound again. So a bloop single and a walk after Figueroa got rid of Jim Jarvis very quickly. Figueroa goes an inning and a third, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and will be responsible for both of the Bama runners on base. So we'll come back, tell you about Cade Fisher. A 5-5 game here in the 7th. Well, tough spot for a freshman to come in and make his first SEC appearance. Alabama has first and second, only 1 out. And the cleanup man, Drew Williamson, coming to the plate. But I think if you watch the first 6 appearances of Cade Fisher, you know that he is certainly not going to be scared.
Yeah, in his 7th appearance, look at that, only 2 walks, 15 strikeouts, had 2 outstanding appearances a couple of weekends ago against the University of Miami on that Friday night, went 3 innings of clean baseball. I mean, he's a double play machine, and that's what the Gators need. Throws a lot of things at your knees, entices you to hit the ball on the ground.
Williamson, a 3-run homer in the first, an RBI double in the 5th. So he has contributed to 4 of the 5 runs that Alabama has today. And a big spot here. But Fisher gets called. Fastball strike there on the outer part of the plate. Williamson, Alabama's leading hitter at .424. Goes the other way, and he's going to deliver again. That one fall in front of Schieckhofer, and he will pick it up, but throw will be cut off, not nearly in time. And how about Drew Williamson? 5 runs driven in, and Bama once again takes the lead.
Yeah, pitch was up. He fought it off, and nice piece of hitting. Williamson, pretty impressive here today. Inside out swing, sees it deep. Hard to throw anybody out against that wind.
So still only 1 out, and Riopelle will go to the mound. A couple of righties due up in Temez and Johnson. Ryan Slater continues to warm up for the Gators.
Yeah, and Kevin O'Sullivan told Riopelle to go out there and buy some time.
And Kevin O'Sullivan on the top step, so we might see another move. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So Fisher came in to try to get out Williamson, but that's a tough task today. And the freshman will be removed for Ryan Slater. So Fisher not too happy. And we'll see what Ryan Slater can do. Still, a couple of guys on for Bama, only 1 out in the inning. So Kevin O'Sullivan to the bullpen once again as he will bring in a right-hander to face a couple of right-handers. It's the 7th appearance of the year for Ryan Slater.
Yep, 16 innings, 15 hits, 8 runs, all of those earned. Also 8 walks, 18 strikeouts for a guy that fastball slider guy. Good changeup. He's looked good as of late. Fastball, he's been touching 94. Slider, I think, is his best pitch too when he's got it going. And you see Ben Hess, you know, it's a long inning, a couple of changes on the mound, so they got him thrown to the side just to stay loose.
So that means he should be coming back out.
One would think, right?
92 pitches through 6 innings for Hess.
Obviously, they don't have to make that decision yet, but he's at the ready.
Dominic Temez, the right-handed hitting catcher, is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Slater misses badly with the first pitch. Slider. That's his best pitch, and why he is in there to try to get Temez. That one much better, and will even the count at 1-1. Temez just 1 for his last 10 at the plate from San Antonio, Texas. Good fastball that time, and Temez was tardy.
You ever been to the Alamo?
Never.
Oh, should go.
I know. Corpus Christi is as close as I've gotten. Another fastball. That one is going to try to stay fair, but won't. Do you remember the Alamo?
I do. And one thing we learned from Pee Wee's Big Adventure, there is no basement in the Alamo.
Ah. That's fitting because that was Ryan Slater's song as he ran into the game.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman's song.
That's right. Tequila from the Pee Wee dance.
The 1-2. Slider lined into center. Robertson trying to get there. He will for the second out. Good read by the freshman.
Yeah, ball hit right on the screws. Robertson, equal to the task, is this guy gets to everything. He's been outstanding here this year defensively.
So now Ed Johnson. And you see the read right there. He broke immediately and knew it. And those are the hardest to gauge, right? Those line drives right at you.
Absolutely, because you're not sure if they're going over your head or in front of you.
First pitch to Johnson is fouled back on a slider.
I mean, the best thing to do as a center fielder in that scenario is just to hold back a second. It's a lot easier coming in on the ball.
Johnson's 0 for 3 today. Did get the lone hit for Alabama yesterday, but just 1 for 6 now in the series.
His name is Ed Johnson, and Brad Bohannon says he is Steady Eddie. Solid across the board. Transfer from Tennessee Tech. He started his career.
Lays off of that slider. Got the same name as Newberry High School head football coach, Ed Johnson. A lot of great football, baseball in this north central Florida area. Couple of looks to second, and that pitch fouled off. So Slater has evened up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Johnson has driven in 18 this year, and he has been really good with 2 outs. He's hitting better than 400. That pitch just missed. And with runners in scoring position this year, Johnson has been spectacular, hitting .550.
They'll be off and running here.
Yep, runners on the move, 3-2, 2 outs. There they go, and the pitch is a little roller out towards Halter. Has to let the runner go by, but still has enough time to make the play and retire the side. But Bama reclaims the lead once again. A single, a walk, And then Drew Williamson did it again, his 5th RBI of the night. Time to stretch here at the ballpark. It's Alabama 6, Florida 5. Alabama up 6-5 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. See Ben Hess there, 92 pitches, has not walked anybody, and has struck out 8.
I think this might be his last hitter.
Well, if it is, it might be a double. Shellnut goes after the first pitch. He's on his horse, and he's going to have himself a stand-up double. So his first SEC hit is a big one, and the Gators will try to answer and tie this thing back up.
Well, they got a lefty in the bullpen and 2 lefties coming back to back here.
Well, we'll see what Kevin O'Sullivan chooses to do here. Gators had an opportunity.
Alabama's looking bunt here. Brad Bohannon just motioned to his defense. Be ready for it.
Halter does bunt, gets down a good one. It'll be fielded nicely. Throw is a little bit low, but Williamson able to gobble it up. So the Gators again have an opportunity. Runner on third and less than 2 outs, but they did not capitalize that back in the 4th inning.
And let me tell you something. Runner on third. Do not be surprised if we see some kind of a squeeze play here. Got a great bunter at the plate. They may be discussing that too defensively. See the numbers.
We see Robertson today 0 for 3.
If I was the corner guys, I'd be creeping here. They're playing back up the middle, so they're giving up the tie run. But now they're moving in at the 11th hour.
And the first pitch to Robertson inside. Well, if anything about this Florida offense, again, that's ranked one of the best in the country in so many different categories, Kevin O'Sullivan has said this is where they need to be better. Runner on third, less than 2 outs.
Yeah.
They haven't produced a lot this year. That one is going to produce well. And the Gators are going to tie it up as Robertson gets his first hit in Southeastern Conference play. And what an answer by the home team.
Well, they had the lefty in the pen, and they decided to go with the righty for 2 more hitters. It results in a Gator run, and that's the 4th time today that Hess has surrendered a lead. He's had the lead 4 times. The Gators have tied it up for the 4th time.
Well, and I think you got to give credit to Florida as well. Alabama has scored in 4 innings. Gators have scored in 4, but the Gators have answered in 3 of those 4. And that's where it has made a difference. So that hit by Robertson will chase the starter Ben Hess, and a new arm coming in for Alabama. So Hess will give the ball away, giving up 8 hits and 6 1/3. 6 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 8. And he heads off. We will step aside as well. Just 1 out here in the 7th with Curlin coming up. Well, a couple of freshmen will now face off here with a freshman running at first for the Gators, Michael Robertson, with the big hit. And the first pitch from the freshman from Alabama, Riley Quick, is ball 1.
Yeah, see the numbers. The bugaboo there is the command. 7 walks and 1 hit batter. He's a mid-90s guy. They're expecting big things out of him. Robertson with a huge lead at first base.
And there he goes. And Curlin will let him steal second base easily. He just took a slider right over the middle of the plate to allow that to happen. And Robertson now leads the Gators in stolen bases with 5.
Different lead that we saw from Alabama's guy, Cade Rose. I mean, that was an aggressive lead right there. He was definitely in attack mode.
Curlin has been on base all 3 times today. Hit by a pitch, single, and then a homer his last time.
Now remember now, when you go back towards second base like that, you have to make the throw.
Yep. Well, and you see Curlin's batting average now at .432. He is taking over the team lead. And a good pitch with some sink.
Yeah, you could see when they think big things of this kid, Riley Quick.
Well, you see Curlin, how good he has been with runners in scoring position. Almost hitting .500. And another hit could give the Gators the lead. That one misses down. Curlin yesterday had the big 2-run homer in the 6th inning to get the Gators on the board. He tied the game in the 5th inning with another homer. The 2-2 here is spoiled by Curlin. And going back to that home run, here's what he did.
Yeah, look where this pitch is. Up and away, just went with it.
And he does have a hold of that right side as Johnson, the second baseman, tries to keep Robertson close. Two again, that'll miss down. Caglione on deck.
And that's the thing when you got speed at second base is a pitcher, you have to worry about him. So you're trying to do two things at once. Never a good idea with a good hitter up.
He's paying a lot of attention to Robertson. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Curlin chops it foul.
Taylor Black, nice play. Gator third base coach.
First year a part of this program, helping this offense do the great things it's doing. So another 3-2 pitch from freshman to freshman. And this one chopped out towards second. Johnson will come up and get it. And his throw is in plenty of time. Robertson will make it to third. And he's there with 2 outs for Caglione.
This is Caglione looking at a completely different arm right now. Hit the ball in the nose his last at bat. But nothing to show.
Well, it looks like there is an equipment malfunction here for Riley Quick. The watch not working, so they've got to give him another one.
In order to speed up the game, we have to switch out the equipment.
You could probably get away with putting a little pine tar or something underneath those watches.
Well, there's no one at second right now. They could have go the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, could have figured that out. All right, Caglione is 0 for the weekend. He was the starting pitcher today, no longer a factor into the decision, and they don't want to deal with him. They're going to put Caglione on to face Rivera. How about that?
Wow. You're going to face a guy that just hit a 2-run jack on him. Or a solo job, I should say. Wow. I get it. But I tell you that the upside, what they're thinking is, all right, Caglione, he's due.
Yep.
And this also creates a force at second base with that runner at third with 2 outs.
And right on right. A buzz in the Condren ballpark as Rivera steps in. And takes one down low. Rivera, 2 hits yesterday, 2 hits today. He's hitting .411. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, good slider right there at 85.
Well, we thought Curlin was hitting well with runners in scoring position. How about Rivera?
How about him?
.481.
Hole on the right side.
Got a fastball. Caglione will steal second base. They allow him to go. They were waiting to see if there was maybe a throw, and then Robertson would try to score.
I mean, they were holding him on, so that counts as a stolen base.
Yeah. Well, good fastball there from Riley Quick. Back to another one, and he got him. That's a big-time pitch by a freshman right there. 95 in under the hands of Rivera, and that'll do it for the Gators. But Florida answers once again. They've scored in 3 straight innings, and we'll head to the 8th. Now a 6-6 game. Well, back and forth game, up and down all the way. Alabama scored 3. Gators answered, and it's been that way the rest of the way. So the Gators have just answered, and we'll see what Alabama can do as they will send up the bottom 3 hitters in their order against righty Ryan Slater. And Alabama is going to retake the lead on that shot by Shelton. A no-doubter and the 11th homer of the year for the freshman, just like that.
It's been that kind of a game. Gators tie it. Alabama retakes it.
This is an Alabama offense that coming into the weekend was the best hitting team in the league. So now Caden Rose. There's a strike. When you look at before the game yesterday, Alabama had hit for 141 total innings, and they had scored a run in 70 of those. So basically half, 49.7% of the innings. Pretty impressive. 1-2, chop back up the middle. Curlin will have it on the backhand, and his throw will just beat the speedy Caden Rose for the out. And as much as the Gators have been producing hits, about 12 hits a game, Alabama averaging over 11 hits a game. And they've had double-digit hits in 14 of the 19 games this year. Each team with 8 hits here today. Here's Tommy Seidel. Strike 1. Strike 2. Coming into the weekend, Alabama led the SEC in average, 2nd in on-base percentage, 2nd in hits, 4th in runs, and 4th in slugging percentage. That breaking ball just missed. And their .349 batting average, 3rd nationally.
Yeah, they've proven they could swing it here today.
That one popped straight up the chute. Rivera says he has it, has the loudest voice, and the shortstop will make the catch.
That shows you what a great job Brandon Sproat did last night against this potent Alabama offense.
Yeah.
Allowed 4 base runners, 1 hit. And there he is. Gonna cheer his team on here.
So back to the top of the order in Jim Jarvis. For Slater, that was the 3rd homer he's given up this year. That one a little low for ball 2. Slater came in and got out of a jam in the previous inning. There's a strike. Jarvis 1 for 3 today at the top of the Alabama order. Smokes that ball, and it's past Curlin into right field. Evans will try to get there. He'll have to backhand it, but it got out there long enough where Jarvis is going to have himself a double.
Well, he's been a tough customer, Jarvis, and he smoked that one to right field, and that's about all Evans can do to cut that thing off to keep it from being a triple. And that is a big possible insurance run out there at second base.
Well, Will Hodo is scheduled to hit here, a left-hander. And all he's done today is be on base 4 times. Philip Abner just started to get loose in the Gator bullpen. Not sure if he's going to be ready yet. There you see the mound visit clock, and it's only in conference play. The second Sully leaves the dugout, or even when a catcher or first baseman comes over, leaves their position to visit the mound, the clock will start. It's already at 0. Well, they let the home plate umpire David Ewell get all the way out there before they remove Ryan Slater. So Philip Abner will come in a big spot. Can't afford to give up another run. And we'll tell you about Abner's numbers when we come back. Again, Alabama takes the lead. It's Bama. Well, we've seen both of these managers here today counter pitching moves, right, left matchup, and that's exactly what will happen here as Kevin O'Sullivan goes with a left-hander, Philip Abner.
Yeah, in his 7th appearance, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 6 walks, 11 strikeouts. His last 2 outings have been really good. Again, they were against Florida Atlantic on back-to-back nights on the 7th and 8th of March. He struck out Nolan Shanuel, who had hit 3 home runs that night in a big left-on-left matchup. And then the following night, he comes in for 3 innings, doesn't give up a hit. So he's been a hot pitcher, fastball at 92, and Sully said he need to stop him right here.
But they'll have to stop a very hot hitter, Will Hodo. He's got 10 hits in his last 20 at-bats, including 3 here today. First pitch is hit hard, but Cade Curlin's got it, and Abner did his job. So nice job by the lefty as Hodo was aggressive. Just couldn't sneak it through the right side like he did a couple of times already. Alabama, though, on another homer takes the lead. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 7-6 tied. Well, this is the difference. One swing of the bat by Alabama to give them, again, a 1-run lead.
Yeah, nice quiet swing. Kobe Shelton, the kid from Lithia, Bloomingdale High School, and they're really surprised on the power he has shown. That's his, 11th home run. I mean, he's only, 2 behind the national lead, and he's only a freshman.
Well, this guy's homered today. BT Riopel, and it tied the game. We'll see if he can do it again. Not going to do it with that swing, though, right off the end of the bat. As a freshman, Riley Quick has been really impressive. Quick came in and got some big outs an inning ago as this changeup misses off the plate. Got Curlin to ground out. They intentionally walked Caglione, and then Rivera, who already has 4 hits this weekend, struck out with what would have been the go-ahead run at third base. Riopel has doubled to go along with that homer. A towering shot here. Not going to leave the yard. Pinckney will shade his eyes from the sun and make the catch. Well, Quick was very impressive in high school. He was the Alabama State Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year, finished 13-1 last year in high school. .92 earned run average across 82 innings. So under a 1 earned run average over 82 innings. That's pretty impressive.
You could see, I mean, it's mid-90s with some serious run.
Matt Prevesk will pinch hit and roll one right to the second baseman, Ed Johnson, with an easy play for out number 2.
And that's exactly what that pitch was. 94 with some sink to it.
Schieckhofer will now hit. Richie is 0 for the weekend as he takes that one off the plate. Yeah, you could very easily see Quick getting into this starting rotation, if it's not this year, over the next couple of years, and being very impressive.
I certainly wouldn't rule out this year based on what we've seen. Small sample size, but he's everything Brad Bohannon said. He said he's a high-profile guy.
Schieckhofer chops this one. This is going to be a tough play with Schieckhofer's speed, and he's going to beat it. Ed Johnson did everything he could to try to get there. Alabama will probably challenge. Why not?
Yeah, you get 2 challenges, nothing to lose.
Well, that one just chopped into the ground.
Looks like he beat. I don't think you overturned that. Well, this should tell you right here. No, safe.
Yeah, bang, bang play.
That's not inconclusive to turn that over.
No, and I think that's what we've seen. The call on the field has stood about 80% of the time. So with it being safe at first base, we'll see if there's enough to overturn that. Well, another interesting thing about Riley Quick, I mean, he's such a big kid. He's 6'6", 260. If I would have told you that he was an offensive lineman in high school, would you have bought that?
Sure.
Not only an offensive lineman, a 4-star recruit offensive lineman.
Review, the call of safe stands.
Well, that was quick. And Brandon Cooper, the first base umpire, confirms it.
Yeah, well, actually, again, stands means it wasn't confirmed. So there was nothing definitive to overturn it, and they didn't have a look enough to say it was confirmed. But it sure looks safe from the views we saw.
So Schieckhofer gets his first SEC hit. Tyler Shelnut got his first SEC hit his last time up.
Well, Shelnut, definitely a guy that has the power to leave the yard right here. And it would be dramatic. Wind blowing out straight to center field.
That one stays inside.
Boy, if he hangs one here, Shelnut is the guy that can give the Gators a lead.
Quick has not given up a homer this year, though, as he'll chase Schieckhofer back.
So what you're saying is he has not collegiately given up a homer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Schieckhofer a big lead. He'll run, and he will steal second base.
Yeah, that was the biggest lead. That was bigger than Michael Robertson's lead right there by Schieckhofer. So you know he was aggressive, ready to go. Look how far out he is. Temez doesn't come up with the throw, but that's the tie and run down there. Now a little base hit will tie this thing.
Shelnut up in the count, 2-0. Chops one out towards second again. That ball continues to just be pounded into the ground, and Johnson will make the play to retire the side. So Riley Quick does a really nice job in relief. We'll head to the ninth. Bama's up 7-6. Well, Bama continues to hold a one-run lead, 7-6. Each team with 9 hits. Bama will try to get some insurance with the heart of their order. 3, 4, and 5 due up as Andrew Pinckney looks to get his first hit of the weekend. But Philip Abner will throw him strike one. Pinckney does have a sac bunt and a walk. He struck out his first 2 times against Caglione. That one just missed. He also struck out 3 times yesterday. And he's 1 pitch away from doing it again.
And how big would be for Abner here to throw a 0 up there? You got to keep this a 1-run game.
And he will. So back-to-back days, Pinckney's got the hat trick. And Abner a good start here in the ninth.
But here comes trouble.
Drew Williamson has been great. He's a triple shy of the cycle. But he'll take strike one. 3-run homer in the first. Then Caglione got him to ground out in the third, but then RBI double in the fifth, RBI single in the seventh. And another hard hit ball here into right field for his fourth hit.
And everything on the screws. This kid's locked in. He doesn't care, lefty, righty, he'll hit them all.
Yeah, he's hoping they play 3 games today instead of just 2. Have himself a day. Dominic Tamez will hit. Chop one right into the ground. Shellnut will think about second base, but make the wise decision and take the out for the second one of the inning.
Yeah, it's always tricky for a first baseman because that ball had a lot of hang time, and if you don't get it and put something on it, get to second base, and you rush it, it ends up in the outfield. So that's a smart play there.
But it does put a runner into scoring position. 2 outs, and the Gators will intentionally walk Ed Johnson. Colby Shelton was scheduled to hit.
And he was taken out last inning for defensive purposes, so Patera's been in the game. So this would have been Shelton had they not to go defensive replacement. And they'll take their chances on Portera. If that was Shelton still in the game, no way they would have put him on to pitch to Shelton.
Yeah, Shelton's the difference right now. The home run in the 8th, his 11th of the year, is why Bama leads at 7-6. They have reached double-digit hits. And that breaking ball misses down low for ball 1.
Patera only 18 at bats on the season, 235 average.
He'll yank this one, curving foul. Home run distance for sure, but just to the left of the foul pole.
Wow.
Yeah, guy with no homers, no runs driven in. He's not about tightening up his batting gloves either. I've never seen anybody not Velcro him up.
Playing loosey-goosey.
Skeleton mitt right there. Two foul balls, and Abner now ahead in the count. Ball smoked again, but further foul.
Now just check, Patera, it's lefty loosey. When he's facing a righty, it's righty tighty, so he tightens it up on the righty.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Also use the same when screwing in for home improvement projects. 1-2, just missed.
Good spot. Good call. It was a ball.
Yep.
But a real good spot.
Bama has left 7 on today. And that pitch, not even close. Caden Rose, a right-hander, is in the on-deck circle. And this is a good at-bat here by Will Portera.
It really is.
Runnels will be on the move again. 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, and they got him. Good fastball painted perfectly by Abner, and that will do it for the Tide. But the Gators need 1. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Alabama 7, Florida 6. Well, the Gators have answered on 4 different occasions. After Alabama has scored, they'll have to do it one more time, or Alabama will even up this series. Florida will send 9, 1, and 2 to the plate here in the ninth off of Riley Quick, who has been pretty special. Colby Halter goes the other way with the first pitch, though. Seidel is not going to get there, and we are tied. An Oppo bomb. The 4th of the day for the Gators, 3rd of the year for Colby Halter, and that is the first home run that Riley Quick has given up in college, and it ties the game up.
That's a veteran guy right there coming through with one of the biggest hits of the year for the Florida Gators, tying this thing up. It's been amazing. I mean, Alabama's had the lead 5 times today and has surrendered it all 5 times. Nice Oppo power. Doesn't try to do too much with a little bit of wind out there, but that was all Colby.
Wow. That brought a buzz to the ballpark.
As well it should.
Here's Robertson, and look at that. Right back up the middle. Robertson has his 2nd straight hit, and the Gators now have a chance to win it.
And he stole off of Quick his last time he reached. I don't know if they're going to let him go here. They don't really have anybody. Looks like they're just playing catch out there. Nothing serious. So Quick is the guy. Now remember, Robertson got a good lead off him and stole quite easily. Now Gassetti's back there catching. We know he's got a good arm, but a huge lead at first.
Cade Curlin takes one high. Curlin has homered today. Also singled.
And one thing I noticed, we haven't seen Quick throw a whole lot to first base.
Yeah, there he does.
Yeah, that's like the first time we've seen him. So now they're calling a timeout. They've got someone throwing in the pen that do Alabama, but not in earnest.
No. And Jason Jackson gets it. He is the pitching coach for Alabama. Went to Florida State, part of good staff with Jamie Shoup and Mike Martin, but he got out there in about 5 seconds. That way he could have a longer conversation.
Well, if you look out in their pen, they don't even have a pitcher throwing on the mound yet. I mean, you're talking extra inning stuff here, because Braylon Myers has 3 saves on the year for Alabama. They kind of use a closer by committee. That's why he didn't start this inning, but really, Quick has been tattooed here.
They'll throw to first again. Closer play that time.
And now it becomes a scenario where he's diverting his attention now to Robertson, and he should, because Robertson's a threat to steal. That's a game-winning run down there, and maybe he leaves one up for Curlin.
That one plunks Curlin.
There it is. I mean, just the whole mindset right there. Attention is taken off because Robertson gives you that threat.
Well, it's the 2nd time that Curlin has been hit, and here comes a guy that's due.
And Brad Bohannon wants them to get together and check and see if Curlin threw his shoulder out there. That's why they're going to talk about it. Who initiates the contact? Oh, definitely. He's turning away from the ball. The ball initiates the contact. It was running in on Curlin. Watch, he's going to turn away from it. Oh, no question that the ball initiated the contact.
Well, and it wasn't. I mean, you're entitled to the batter's box.
Absolutely.
And he stayed put in that batter's box. Curlin has a knack for having that happen. He has been hit now twice in the game.
This should be a quick review, and the play should be confirmed.
Yeah, he's already made the announcement.
Yep, they announced it's confirmed.
All right, so here we go. The guy that started the game for the Gators, Jack Caglione, will hit. Cags does not have a hit this weekend. 0 for 6. He was intentionally walked his last time. Yesterday was the first game all year that Caglione didn't reach base. And that one down in the dirt as they throw a changeup. And it's a good read by Caglione. This is a guy that really likes to attack pitches early in the count.
Wind blowing right now to right center. And remember, on a base hit, that's a game-winning run out there at outfield playing deep, especially in center field.
Caglione chops that one foul. Yeah, anything that reaches the outfield, Robertson scores with ease.
And this is with nobody out. So they're rolling the dice that he's going to fly out deep to center field, because anything that's going to land in front, that's going to be a tough throw out with the speed of Robertson and the wind blowing against the outfielder.
That one not even close for ball 2. Caglione certainly has the ability to go the other way as well. They shift on him, but if he just hits a ground ball to short, the game's over.
I think any base hit to the outfield, Robertson's going to score easily.
Yep. Caglione has driven in 30 this year. Hits that one hard, right at the first baseman. They'll go to second for 1, unable to turn the double play. So Rivera's going to have a chance now. Runners on the corners with only 1 out.
Alabama coaches questioning the slide in the second. And they're going to want him to look at that as well. And that would be huge, because if that ends up being interference with the base runner, that's a double play.
Yep. And that has been called this year. Home plate umpire David Yule says, let's talk.
Now, does he go by the base? This is a nice play from first. You're entitled to the base.
Well, I mean, it looked on that he was sliding straight in there.
He was trying. Yeah, what they don't want you to do is go after the fielder. And the other thing is to go past the base is another question.
Well, so here's the situation. Josh Rivera up, and Rivera in the 7th with Quick out there ended up striking out.
Field at second, stands, he's out.
So Rivera has a chance to end it.
Sully happy with that ruling, and now he's got the game-winning run down there at third base, and a hot hitter, one of the best players in college baseball, stepping to the plate right now.
Well, and they attacked Rivera in under the hands to strike him out back in the 7th. We'll see if they stay with that same approach.
And we've seen Josh make the adjustment. He's saying, okay, they did work me outside there. I say if he comes inside, you just inside out it. You got speed at third, anything in the air, this game's over.
Rivera, a little tapper. This is going to do it. Ball game. Rivera with the walk-off, the first time that the Gators walk it off this year. And Florida scores 2 in the bottom of the 9th with Rivera's 3rd hit of the day. And Florida wins it 8-7 here this afternoon.
Well, this team finds a way to get it done. It's been that kind of year up until now. That's a big SEC win. Josh Rivera coming through once again, just putting the ball in play with the speedy Robertson at third. A very well played and fun SEC game to watch here today.
So the Gators do not lead the game at all until the very end, but they continuously answered. Give credit to Alabama too, though. Every time the Gators would tie it, Alabama would go right back and take the lead. So that should make a heck of a final game. But here's what you saw end it.
Yeah, ball in the dirt. Or down low. He beats it into the dirt. Now watch Robertson. He's going on contact. He knows he's the winning run, and there's no way they have a shot at the speedy Robertson. So big victory. Started off by Colby Halter tying this thing up in the ninth inning. That was absolutely huge. And we got one more to play, partner.
Yeah. Can't forget about what Halter was able to do, stepping up, hitting one oppo against the guy that had not given up a home run all year. So the Gators claw their way back, and they use some power within the game as well. Florida pounds out a whole bunch of runs and hits 4 more homers, and that will do it. For Nick Belmonte and our producer Scott Snyder, I am Jeff Cardozo. The final game of this series about an hour from now, so come back and join us. Gators win game 2 8-7 here on the SEC Network.